When people say to me, what is it that you actually do? I say, well, all I do is I go to companies, big technology companies, maybe companies that have been around for hundreds of years, and I say, do you know what? You might want to consider asking people what they need before you give them something. And then the people I'm talking to say, really? You have to actually say that, do you? I say, yes, I have to say it. And I've said it maybe 40,000 times, and I keep on having to say it because it's not that obvious. And actually, it's more sophisticated even than that, because the question that you ask will determine the kind of innovation that you create. And it reminds me of an analogy that was created in the 1940s that remains just as true today as it did then. And the analogy says this: no one ever needed a drill. Never, ever, ever in human history has anyone needed a drill. What they needed was a hole. And if we don't understand the difference between the drill and the hole, we'll create a completely different form of innovation that's not insight driven. Let's think about it like this. If I ask the customer about the drill, I'll say something like this: you know the drill that I already make? Well, how could it be improved? Which seems like a kind of legitimate kind of way to generate insights. But it'll lead to this kind of response. Well, I don't know, says the customer. Maybe you could make the drill slightly longer, maybe make it slightly shorter, maybe make it slightly wider, slightly thinner, maybe make it go through bricks as well as through wood. I don't know. Put it in a box with all different shapes and sizes of drills in the same box to give me choice. Put a little hole at the top of the box so I can hang it on a hook on the side of my ladder, so when I'm up the ladder and I'm already in the process of drilling, I don't need to climb down in order to change the drill. Well, it seems like I'm doing insight generation, but I can assure you the only thing I will do as a result of that process is create a new drill. Imagine for a second I don't ask about the technology, but I ask about the desired outcome. Why did you need a hole in the first place? Well, the response I'll get from the customer will be very different. Oh, says the customer, oh, well, I've just bought a new house and I've plastered and painted the walls, and now I want to hang a picture up. And now I know that, as an innovator, I can say, well, hang on a minute then. The last thing you need is a drill, because a drill is going to put a dirty, great hole through your new paint and plaster. And once you've hung your picture up, you'll never be able to move it because it's disguising that hole. What you actually need, now I understand what you're doing, is you need something that's going to be able to hang a picture up and be strong enough, but that can be moved at any time without leaving any damage or residue. You can see that asking about the desired outcome is far more likely to lead to breakthrough innovation. So why don't people do that? It seems so obvious. Why don't people ask questions about the hole and not the drill? Well, in my experience, it's because they have a factory somewhere that makes drills. Actually, they don't want to hear that the answer isn't a drill. They've got the world's best R&D expertise in drill manufacture or in drill design. They've got a whole vested interest in making sure the answer is a drill. It's not that they don't know how to ask different questions. It's that they're scared of asking a different question in case they get the answer that what they intend to do is not the correct thing. But of course, it's false economy not to ask that question, because a competitor that isn't constrained in that way will hear the same answer. And when they bring that to market and disrupt the market, and it is the correct and more appropriate solution, the company will lose. And then someone will say to you, you know, why didn't we see that coming? Why didn't we understand that? And the truth will be because either we did hear it and we chose to ignore it, or we didn't hear it because we purposely framed the question in a way that demanded our technology. And when I think about examples of that, Polaroid are the perfect example. They made cameras that spit out little bits of paper, and they made that for years. And they didn't want to hear that that wasn't the correct answer. So when they said to the customer, you know, that camera that we make, how could we improve it? Well, the customer will give you an answer, but it's constrained to the current technology. Well, I don't know, they say. Maybe make the little bits of paper that come out slightly bigger. Maybe make the camera slightly smaller. Maybe make it develop slightly faster. Truth is, I don't really want one of those at all, but you're not asking me what I really want. If you'd have said, what are you trying to achieve? You'd have got a very different response. Hey, well, I want to go to a building site in Hong Kong. I want to take a picture of the building site and send it back to my client in New York because I'm an architect and I want my client to comment on the building before I leave Hong Kong. I want to go to a party, take a picture of my friends. Someone will be sneezing, somebody will be laughing, someone will be looking in the wrong direction. So I want to take as many pictures as I like, be able to review them and see that I've got the one I want before everyone disperses, and then dispose of all the pictures I don't want at no cost. If Polaroid had asked that question, they would definitely have developed the digital camera. And I can't think of an organisation or brand that should have developed the digital camera more than Polaroid. And the reason that they didn't was because when they thought of insight generation, they were focused on the drill and not the hole.